Hi everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So let's talk about Venus entering the sign of Virgo. Venus will officially enter the sign of Virgo on September 19th, and it will stay in that sign until about October 14th. And during the time that we have Venus in the sign of Virgo, we will collectively have more focus on our day-to-day routine. During the Venus and Virgo transit, we also have Jupiter in the sign of Cancer. You may find yourself really focusing on your living environment and kind of perfecting your routine and really taking care of your actual living space. Virgo energy is very detailed, very perfectionistic. It's also ruled by the planet Mercury, so Virgo energy in general is very, very good at communications. So not only will you be kind of like perfecting your living environment and taking better care of your health, you could find yourself exercising more often. You may also find yourself just like glowing up in a way that really prioritize your health and well-being. And again, you might find yourself being more motivated to eat healthier during this time, especially because during this time we will also have Venus conjunct the South Node in the sign of Virgo. For most of this transit, you may find yourself having some very like destined themes in your life around Virgo energy. Again, this could be finally getting your living environment in like a good situation and really taking care of your health and prioritizing your health. And you may find yourself also during this time prioritizing communications in your life. It's very likely that now will be the time that you will finally have the motivation to start a YouTube page, a podcast, finally start creating music or creating content online that is purely communications based. Because Virgo energy is ruled by the planet Mercury, you will definitely have a major focus in your life around communications during this time as well. When you look at somebody who has Venus in the sign of Virgo natally, the most attractive thing about that person is when they speak and communicate, it becomes very magnetic for many people. So you might find yourself, so during the Venus and Virgo transit, it is very likely you could really prioritize communications in your life. Now is also a really good time for like, if you've ever wanted to start writing a book or even really begin to increase how many books that you have read. You may find yourself reading more often or just kind of digesting and consuming more written content. You may also find yourself during the Venus and Virgo transit just generally listening to more podcasts, watching more YouTube videos, listening to content and reading content, and also yourself, you may be creating things that involve communications. It's like while you will have a focus in your life on like perfecting everything around you, cleaning your living space, doing your laundry, eating healthier, because the other thing about Venus in the sign of Virgo during a transit is like you will have more motivation to like take much better care of your health during this time. It's very likely that because of the Virgo influence of the perfectionism and also Venus being in that sign, Venus is a planet of like aesthetics and beauty. So it'll be like a major motivation to like finally start a glow up, to finally start doing things to level yourself up and level up your aesthetics. I feel like during this time, we might also see just like a peak in like clean girl aesthetics or that type of look where you are taking very good care of your health, you are eating healthy, you're having like very clean girl makeup and having like more natural aesthetics. We might see more of like a peak globally. We might see more of a peak in the popularity of that aesthetic during this time. I would also say for the majority of the rest of 2025 and even into early 2026, it's likely we'll see some sort of fashion trends around clean girl aesthetic, or again, just having just like very sleek, honed styles as well, because Venus has so much to do with our aesthetics, our stylistic choices. And when we are all being impacted by the Venus and Virgo transit, as well as the South Node transiting the sign of Virgo, this will have a major influence on beauty and style just in general. Because I feel like especially around the time that Venus enters the sign of Virgo, we're gonna have some major Virgo transits happening. It's not just because Venus will be in the sign of Virgo, but we will also have the sun in that sign as well as Mercury in that sign. So it's like we're gonna have more focus focus on that energy. You may also find that we will have just more aesthetics during this time where, again, you could feel more compelled to take better care of your health. You might find yourself exercising more often, going to the gym more often. The Venus and Virgo transit is going to be one of the most potent times for you. Take better care of your body and take better care of your health. Again, because Virgo energy rules the sixth house, it's like you will kind of focus more on like your actual health and well-being during this time. Another major transit that we will be experiencing during the Venus and Virgo transit is that in this first week of October, we will have the South Node conjunct the planet Venus. So when we experience this transit, we are going to have some major destiny themes around Virgo energy, around beauty, around style, and around aesthetics. And even though it is the South Node in astrology is more like the place where we are coming from and reaching the place that we are destined to be in. So with the North Node transiting in the sign of Pisces and the South Node in Virgo, when Venus makes a conjunction with the South Node in Virgo, we are going to have just like a major focus on aesthetics and stylistic choices and beauty in general. And it's going to have us kind of like focus more on those things and focus more on like Virgo beauty, Virgo aesthetics, Virgo cleanliness. And it's going to kind of project us into this destiny of creating themes around that style and that aesthetic. So it's very likely we'll have some sort of global shift as it relates to like style, fashion trends, things like that, because the North Node and South Node are involved. When the North Node is in Pisces, when we experience this, we will also find that we will be creating things around this aesthetic and around this style. And that is because Pisces energy is very creative. And we'll have some like very karmic things happening too, because Saturn will be in the same sign as the North Node during this transit. So it's like we're going to be more focused on these styles and these aesthetics, but then it's like we're all going to be shifting our focus as a society into creating more things around that style and around that aesthetic. We might find that it'll be like more of like a new wave, a new trend of things that are going to be happening within that theme in general. So like we'll see more things pop up throughout society around like clean girl aesthetic or just like very Virgo fashion choices. And we will also see like some sort of resurgence in like, again, taking better care of your health, exercising more, but in like more of like a realistic way. So the way that this will affect you, you may find that like when Venus is in the sign of Virgo, you may have some sort of like stylistic change. You may focus more again on your health, on your day-to-day routine, more on like your actual physical well-being, and just generally doing things that involve more communications. You may find yourself reading more often. You may also decide to write a book or start a podcast. Now is also a really good time to really focus on school. Like if you want to continue your education and get like a higher education degree, now is also a really, really good time to do this, because Virgo energy loves education. It loves school. It loves finally getting a certificate or a doctorate or some sort of higher education degree. So now is also a really good time to begin anything like that in your life. You may find that you could be more focused on increasing your knowledge as well, again, because Venus is ruled by Mercury. Mercury is a very intellectual sign. So this is going to be another theme that you may experience during this transit. So if you're in school now, if you're in college or university, now is also just like a very powerful time to study and learn more. You may find yourself doing better on your tests. You may also find that now is just going to be generally a really good time for your studies and just increasing your knowledge. And again, if you need to like prepare for anything, or if you have to work on something for school, now is going to be one of the best times for you to really succeed in anything you begin as it relates to like your curriculum or like higher education journey. So let's go ahead and talk about how this will affect you. I'm going to go ahead and go through all the rising signs so you can gain a better picture of how the Venus and Virgo transit will affect you based on your rising sign. But I highly recommend to also watch your sun sign and moon sign to gain a full picture of how this transit will be for you. So if you're an Aries rising, when Venus enters the sign of Virgo for you, this is going to be just a really good time for your work life. You may find yourself having really good relationships with your coworkers. You could attend more happy hours. You could also have some sort of elevation with your career. It's also very likely, because Venus is a money planet, you could have some sort of raise at work, or you could have just like more financials coming your way during this time. It's also very likely that you'll have some sort of like destined elevation with your career as well. During the Venus and Virgo transit, you'll also be experiencing some major transits to your 8th house and your 7th house, kind of at the same time. And you may find that during this time, you will have some sort of like elevation with like your social life. It's very likely that new people could enter your life. And again, this is very likely to be coworkers. You may also meet people when you're exercising, when you're at the gym. You may meet more people who are like, wow, this Aries rising is really cool. I want to be their friend. You may enter some sort of like new friendship during this time with somebody who you could meet at like a gym or in some sort of like workplace environment. This could be a coworker. You may also find yourself having just like a better romantic life during this time as well. And this is primarily because of all of the 7th house transits that you'll be experiencing at the same time that we're going to have Venus in the sign of Virgo. So you might have more of an elevation in your love life. You may also have more opportunities to attend social events during this time. You're also experiencing some major transits to your 11th house. So it's very likely you'll experience some sort of transformation with your social groups and just like the people who you surround yourself with. But generally, the Venus and Virgo transit is really, really good for your work life. And also, if you want to start any new like creative project that involves communications in any way, you're more than likely to be more successful during this time. If you're a Taurus rising, when Venus enters the sign of Virgo for you, this is going to be a major focus on your own personal creativity. You've also started to really experience a number of transits to your 11th house with Saturn re-entering that house for you. So this is going to kind of go hand in hand because you're going to have a major focus on your own personal creativity. And you may also have more opportunities to just go and have fun as well. Like more people could enter your life and start inviting you places. You might find yourself in more parties, clubs, sporting events, anything that you consider to be really, really fun. You're more than likely to have more opportunities to be in those environments. And you may find yourself around more large groups of people. It's very likely that you could be in some crowded areas during the Venus in Virgo transit, or you could actually be like entertaining large groups of people as well. This could be like social content, or you may find yourself performing in some way, or you may have some sort of public speaking opportunity. You may have something like that happening in your life. And generally, big boost in creativity. And you may feel like now during the Venus and Virgo transit is going to be one of the most potent times for your creative life in general. When you have Venus transiting your 5th, it's like you will have a lot of very positive things during this time for your personal creative self. You may also find yourself starting some sort of new creative project during this time that will either really set the stage for how you experience Pluto in Aquarius, or you may also find yourself creating something that you'll go back to and you're like, wow, this is like one of the best things that I've created. And you may find yourself referencing the things that you have developed during this transit. If you're a Gemini rising, when Venus enters the sign of Virgo for you, this is going to be a time in your life where you might feel more focused on your home life. You're currently experiencing a lot of elevation in your career and experiencing a lot of very karmic experiences as it relates to being in the public eye or even managing and leading people. You're stepping into a new chapter of your life where other people are seeing you more as an authority figure and like more as a manager, a boss, a leader. And when Venus enters the sign of Virgo for you, this is going to have you be very focused on like your home life during this time. You may feel that while you're being put more into the spotlight, you could be more drawn to start really focusing on like your home life, really prioritizing your own innermost emotions. And you may also find yourself kind of renovating your home because Jupiter is also transiting your second at this time. It's very likely that you could see some sort of increase in your finances, and you might find yourself kind of improving and renovating your living situation because of any increase that you just had. You may also find that when Venus enters the sign of Virgo for you, it will also have a positive effect on your career. So you may find yourself having more elevation in whatever you do. You may also find that you could have some sort of increase in finances, like maybe you receive budget from someone at a company that you work for in order to create some sort of creative project. That is also very likely to happen for you during this transit. If you're a Cancer rising, when Venus enters the sign of Virgo for you, you're going to see a major elevation in your own creative communications project. It's very likely that now is going to be one of the most potent times for you to start a podcast, start a YouTube page, start a TikTok, start writing that book, or even go into something like songwriting, something that involves communications. Not only will you be more focused on during this time, but you will also have some sort of major karmic experience around this. It's very likely that you may find yourself beginning some sort of new creative communications project, or again, focusing more on social media during this time, and you'll have some sort of major elevation there. It is very likely that you'll have some sort of success coming your way around a project that you began, or even some sort of project that you are about to begin. You may also find that you'll have a big increase in creativity, and you'll have more motivation to finally start posting online, or you may find yourself having more motivation to finally start songwriting or starting to write that book. Something like that will be happening in your life, and you'll find a lot of success. It's also very likely that any creative project that you begin now, when Venus enters the sign of Virgo, will really elevate come the spring. Saturn goes back into the sign of Aries. You will have a major elevation there, and you'll also find more success. You may also find that the creative projects that you begin now, especially these creative communications projects, the universe will be like, okay, it's go time. And it's going to really amplify in the spring when Saturn re-enters the sign of Aries. If you're a Leo rising, when Venus enters the sign of Virgo for you, this is going to be one of the best times for your financial life. Like raises at work, sudden increases through your side hustle, some sort of major elevation in your financials. Something very positive is on the way to you as it relates to your financial life. If you've been looking for that breakthrough as it relates to anything involving like themes around your finances, during this time you'll also have a major increase in your own personal self-confidence. You might be stepping into a new chapter of your life where you feel like you have more self-worth. You may also feel like you could be setting strong boundaries for yourself around how you experience things, and this will really continue to increase your own self-confidence. During this time, you may also be more interested in things like spirituality, and you could even have some sort of like spiritual revelation with Pisces transits happening to your 8th house. So it's likely that you could have some sort of like new income stream starting for you, or being more interested in themes like spirituality, which could lead to some sort of major income stream to begin for you. You may also have something happening in your life where again you feel like you're becoming a lot more self-confident, and some sort of major door of opportunity will begin to open, where again this could lead to some sort of major raise at work, or some sort of new revenue stream happening, or suddenly you begin a side hustle, or maybe your business becomes very successful as well. Something for you is going to be happening within those themes that will really project this for you and really elevate you financially. If you're a Virgo rising, when Venus enters your sign, this is going to be one of the best transits that you will experience all year. Around the 19th, you're going to have a major new beginning as it relates to the way that you see yourself, the way that you present yourself, and the way that other people see you as well. It is very likely that you'll be stepping into a new chapter of your life where not only will you feel a lot more confident, but you're also going to be changing and going through a major glow up and a major aesthetic change. You may feel like you are really stepping into the person who you really feel like you are. And it's also very likely that you're going to start attracting attracting new people into your life, and you may find that you will be also attracting new dedicated partners into your life as well, who really find you very attractive, because again, you're going to have a lot of focus on your first house. And first house in astrology is like all about like the way that we present ourselves, the way that we see ourselves, the way that other people see us as well. So it's like you're going to be attracting people into your life who find you very attractive, who want to be your partner. And it's very likely you will also be attracting very stable and dedicated partners into your life during this time. And these new people who enter your life will begin to open up major doors of opportunity for you. These will be people who will start introducing you to people and really open new social doors for you. You may start attending more networking events where you will find that people will just find you very attractive when you're in those places. It's also very likely that you will feel this major surge of energy. It'll be really positive for your career and very positive for your romantic life and your social life. This is new people entering your life who find you very attractive. And you might find yourself starting some sort of relationship, and you may also find that you'll just have more people in your life who want to be your friend, and you may find that you'll be invited to more parties and social events. If you're a Libra rising, when Venus enters the sign of Virgo for you, this is a time for you to really combobulate after you just experienced Venus in the sign of Leo. You will really be taking this time to make sure that your living space is the way that it should be. You will have an increase in trying to make sure that your health is priority. You will be taking better care of yourself. You will be taking better care of your health in general. And other people may also see this as well. It's also very likely that during this time you could start exercising more and really prioritizing your health. While you may feel like you are working a lot in order to meet the elevation that Jupiter in the sign of Cancer is asking from you, you may also feel like you really need to prioritize your well-being and prioritize your health. And you may really feel like this is going to be a time where you're going to have that opportunity to make sure your living environment is the way that you want it to be. Make sure that you are eating healthy, taking better care of your health, and just generally elevating yourself as it relates to those themes. This is going to be a time where you might feel like you are more focused on spirituality as well. You may have more focus on themes of astrology or tarot or really anything that you're very passionate about. You may find yourself having more focus on this during this time. And when you experience this transit, I feel like my best advice to you is to kind of like listen to your intuition and kind of listen to your body as well. Like, don't do too much during this time, because when you have Venus in the sign of Virgo, it's a time of recombobulation and making sure that you are prioritizing your health and well-being. If you're a Scorpio rising, when Venus enters the sign of Virgo for you, you're going to have a major burst in energy. You're going to feel like you are reborn again. You're going to have just more focus on your social life and also focus on yourself as well. It's very likely you could go through somewhat of a glow up during this time. You may finally get your hair done. You may get your nails done. You may start taking better care of your health. You might start taking better care of your body. And you may find yourself having just more opportunities to attend social events, networking events. It's also very likely that during this time you could feel a little bit more creative as well. You may find yourself stepping into a new chapter of your life where you could begin a new creative project that really invites a lot of people into your life, and they could start putting you more on a pedestal. You may also find that during this time you will definitely have more travel opportunities. You could be going to a different country, going to a different state, and attending like social events there. And again, you will have a major increase in energy, at least around the 19th. And again, you'll have just like a major elevation in your social networks during this time as well. So if you're a Scorpio rising, now is going to be a good time to post on social media. Now is a great time to start any sort of communications-based page, because you're going to have more elevation there, and you're also going to be able to reach a much wider audience during this transit. You will also be seen more favorably by your audience as well. Like, people will see you on social media and they will see you in a very positive light, and you will be attracting many admirers as well. You may also find that, again, you will have more travel opportunities. So the more you share yourself, the more likely you are going to have some sort of opportunity to go to a different country or fly across the country and go to attend parties in new cities. You're more likely to have that coming in. If you're a Sagittarius rising, when Venus enters the sign of Virgo for you, this is major career glow up energy. This is major elevation in your public image, major just positive relationships in anything that you do for work. If you work for a company, really good relationships with authority figures at your company. You may have a really good relationship with your boss during this time. Or if you have your own company, you may have just like a major elevation in your public image, and you may also have just more success in general, and you may start attracting many admirers. It is very likely that you will have your relationships seen more in the spotlight during this time as well. So if you're in any sort of partnership, you're in a relationship with somebody, if you are about to get into a relationship with someone, or if you're married with somebody, there will be some sort of elevation in the way people see your relationships, but again, it'll be seen very positively as well. You may also start to feel more creative, like you could start to draw more, you could start to work on some sort of major video project or some sort of just creative project that will really elevate your public image and have people see you in a very favorable light. It is very likely that other people will see you just very positively during this time, and you will be attracting people into your life who see you in that light. You may also find yourself receiving some sort of major raise at work as well, because Venus is a money planet. And when it transits the sign of Virgo for you, this is like more success with your finances just in general. You'll have your financial life in more of a successful era. You will have more success with your money. You will have more success with your finances. If you're a Capricorn rising, when Venus enters the sign of Virgo for you, you are going to have many opportunities to travel. You may also have more focus in your life on higher education and also just communications in general. Like, you may start writing more or become more focused on themes like philosophy. You may start being more drawn to forms of media that focus on those themes, where you could watch like a anime that is focused on philosophical themes, or you could start reading philosophical books. You may also find yourself just being more focused and kind of like running ideas through your mind constantly about philosophy, higher education, and just kind of like reaching a new place with how you see those things. Now is also a really good time to go back to school for you or begin some sort of course of study. You may find yourself beginning some sort of certificate program, or you may find yourself going back to school and achieving a higher education degree. You may find that if you are currently in school in any shape or form, you will have more success during this time on like your tests, anything that you want to learn, anything that you want to study for. You are more than likely to have more success there and just generally more focus on those themes. You may also find yourself having more travel opportunities and just more opportunities to really expand your study and just like really expand your scope of reach as well. You will have just like more things in your life where you will have some sort of like karmic experience around like themes of higher education and travel and expanding your knowledge. It's also very likely that now is going to be a time where you become more focused on themes of astrology, tarot, spirituality, and kind of really focusing on those things as well, and also really expanding your horizons. It's also very likely that you could have some sort of major revelation or major breakthrough as it relates to those themes, and it's very likely that you could have something very destined around them as well. If you're an Aquarius rising, when Venus enters the sign of Virgo for you, this is going to be a really good time for your financial life. You will have some sort of major elevation with finances. However, for you, this will not necessarily be just your own personal earnings. This won't necessarily solely be focused on your salary or how much you earn in commission or products that you sell. This is more focused on like receiving large increases. You might also find yourself having to either pay taxes, or you may find yourself receiving some sort of refund from taxes during this time as well. It's very likely that you'll have some sort of focus on those themes. You might find that something will be coming in during this time that was like financially owed to you. Like if you were waiting on a check from something, it's more likely to come to you during this time. During the Venus and Virgo transit, you could see some sort of like major increase in your finances. When you put yourself into positions that you can earn more, you're more likely to have that on the way to you. You're also experiencing an elevation just like in your work life, but during this transit, it's going to be very good financially for you. It's very possible you could receive some sort of major raise at work where it'll be like, you know, a exponential increase in your salary, or you'll work more on like a commission base, and all of a sudden throughout the month that we have Venus in the sign of Virgo, it'll be like a major jump where you'll be like, okay, last month I was making X amount, this month I made triple that. You may find that you'll have that experience during this transit. Venus in the sign of Virgo for you is very, very positive, and you may also find, again, you're experiencing a major transformation with your public image and career in general. And even though you're working more often, when Venus enters the sign of Virgo for you, this will be like something will be coming towards you that it will be like karmically supposed to be there. If you're a Pisces rising, when Venus enters the sign of Virgo for you, this is going to be one of the best times for your love life. You're very likely to have someone enter your life who will be a very long-term dedicated partner. It's very likely that you have had just your romantic life since about July really, really elevated. You could have had new people in your life who have invited you to parties, have invited you to concerts, sporting events, anything that you find to be like really, really fun. You have more than likely had a lot of invitations to do those things. It is also very likely that more people have found you more attractive. And now when Venus enters the sign of Virgo, this is like long-term relationships, and relationships that you're also kind of karmically supposed to be in will be on the way to you. You'll feel like all of a sudden you'll have a major wave of new people entering your life, and it's very possible that they will be kind of focused on like your aesthetics. They will like the way that you do your hair, the way you do your makeup, the way you style yourself. And you may also have some sort of karmic new beginning in your life around the themes that these new people who enter your life will bring for you. It's very likely that you'll have some sort of major elevation and just like major self-confidence boost. You'll have more self-worth during this time. And again, any new relationship that you begin is very, very likely to last a long term. It is also very likely that you could have something happen in your life where you get into a destined relationship, and this person may also kind of like support you financially as well. If you get into a relationship with somebody during this transit, it is more than likely to manifest in this way. So how can you make the most of the Venus and Virgo transit? The best things you can do during this transit are focus more on your health and well-being. That is going to really elevate the effects of Venus transiting the sign of Virgo. Now is an amazing time to level up aesthetically, really dive into a new aesthetic that really amplifies Virgo themes. Like again, we talked about the clean girl aesthetic. You might also feel like now is going to be a really good time to take better care of your health. You may find yourself kind of romanticizing eating healthier, or even doing things where you are just exercising more often, going to the gym more frequently. Now is also a really, really good time to focus on any communications projects. So YouTube channels, TikTok pages, writing a book, songwriting, anything involving communications in general. Now is going to be a really, really good time for you to work on this. And another really good positive thing that you can do during the Venus and Virgo transit, which will continue between September 19th and October 14th, is focus on studies. If you've ever wanted to get a higher education degree, if you need to get a certificate for your job, if you need to get anything that will help elevate your career, the Venus in Virgo transit will really support this and really help you achieve those things. You are going to be more than likely to be very successful in anything involving education or study. And also, you are going to be more than likely to have a lot of themes in your life that will be just very successful around achievement, around increasing your knowledge, and you will also just find more success around themes of study, higher education, colleges, universities, and also anything involving, like, if you want to begin any sort of communications project, if you need to deliver some sort of speech for either school or work, or conduct a webinar, or anything involving communications. Now those themes are going to be received very positively from Venus in the sign of Virgo. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel for more astrology updates.